Hello you lot, Miller Corner here and welcome to a slightly different video this one. I'm going up north. Specifically, I'm going to the Motorway, which for those of you that don't know, is kind of like a northern caffeine and machine is probably the best way to describe it, although they do restoration and car servicing and that kind of stuff as well. Basically, it's a big classic car hub in the north. It's a cafe, it's a restaurant. I went to the opening of it a few years ago. It's fantastic, I really like it. And I'm going up there for a Classics World shoot tomorrow with the Toyota Enthusiast Club. We've got 5 different cars coming with everything from a Celica to a Supra to a camper van. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. And I figured I could go on a day that's supposed to be nearly 30-degree heat in my modern Kia Ceed company car with its cruise control and its air conditioning and its automatic gearbox and its comfort and refinement. But where's the fun in that? Because as you may well know, in October, me and Little Nugget here are going to be going on what I coined my dream road trip for this car, which if you stay tuned to the end of this video, I will tell you what it is at last. I am going to reveal it. But I figured this is the first opportunity I've had to give a really long run for this car in months. Because of all the cars I drive, I don't really get a chance to drive this car long distances like I used to because I don't need to. I have so many other cars and stuff for work and whatever. So I figured let's give it a bit of a dry run. Let's try this car out for the first long journey, not only for it in a very long time, but also since I've put these bucket seats in. And basically what I want to ascertain is over a multi-day road trip, which is going to work out at 500, 550, maybe even 600 miles, how do I find it? Is everything okay? Is this car going to be any good and in fact bearable on the journey I've got planned for later in the year, which is due to be around twice the distance that I'm going to be doing on this trip to Leeds and back. So strap in, let's head for the motorway and find out. Okay, so I'm now on the good old M20, which for those of you that don't live or regularly drive in the south of England will know that every summer they put in this ridiculous partial lane closure, basically divide what should be 2 sets of 3 lanes, one in each direction, into 3 sets of 2 lanes, with the outer 2 lanes, as I'm sat now, being used for lorries and freight going to Dover, the Channel Tunnel and so on. And then they add 50 mile an hour average speed cameras for genuinely something like 18 or 20 miles, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I won't lie to you, it's miserable, particularly because also this particular bit of the M20 is like the west side of the M25, where there isn't really any tarmac, it's just concreted, and you can probably see by the fact I'm bouncing a little bit. There are 2 good things about this. Number one, it's actually very easy going. I haven't got cruise control, or woe is me, because obviously I'm used to radar cruise in my Kia, but other than that, this car sits at 50 really easily, because where I have to hold my foot on the pedal to do 50 is actually really easy, particularly with these bucket seats, where I'm sitting a bit lower than I was in my older Bath seats. My foot kind of naturally just falls into that position, and I can kind of rest the edge of my foot on the wheel arch corner there, so actually entirely comfortable. And crucially, the other thing, because of the height the seat is at, my elbow lands perfectly on the armrest, so I can just rest it there really, really easily. In the old seats, it kind of almost felt like my arm had to fall unnaturally low. If you're a bit shorter than me, or you've got longer arms than me, it's less of an issue, I guess. I still would rather not be doing 50 miles an hour, but early signs are good. So I'm going to plough on. I've got just over 4 hours to go. I've got a bit of Cream podcast on, the best podcast. And without further ado, let's cream on. Don't take that out of context. Can't guess which bit of the M25 I'm approaching. Bet you still can't guess, can you? I bet you didn't see that coming, did you? Although that said, this is still faster than the last 3 times I've been through the Dartford crossing. Make of that what you will. But we're paying for this, may as well make use of it. So we're about 2 hours in. The car's doing fine. I'm at a set of traffic lights. There's a cash guy there. The car is absolutely fine. Been lovely, got loads of fuel, but my bladder is not. So quick pull over for a wee-wee, I think. Oh yeah, look at it. After all the trips I do in my company Kia, which is perfectly good but also mildly dull, it's nice to be on a long trip and have this little nugget smiling back at me and waiting to get on the road. So quick drink and then back on the move, I think. And no, I did not pay those fuel prices. And now we're on to that typical part of visiting a British motorway services where you rush in, do what you've got to do, rush out to sit in the traffic jam to actually get back onto the motorway. And this one's no different. I'm currently in amongst a load of lorries and electric cars, and yeah, this is the British motorway network for you. And frankly, I'm amazed we've done as well as we have up to this point. A little quick tip for you, by the way, if you're travelling particularly in Britain, if all you need is to visit the loo, if you're not buying food, you're not buying a drink, you haven't got a whole load of kids with you or anything like that, if you just want to make a quick stop to answer a call of nature and then get back on the road, don't go to the main services. Don't go to the actual service station, because then you've got to park a long way away, walk all the way in, queue behind a load of idiots that can't keep their speed up, then possibly have to wait for a toilet, blah, blah, blah. Go to the petrol station. Most services, of course, have a petrol station in them, and 99% of those will have a toilet in them as well, primarily for lorry drivers. So go to the actual petrol station in the services, stop there, get in, get out, do what you've got to do, you're back on the road. And as I've just proven, you can be up to speed in no time. Love this country. So you join me on the glorious A1M, the longest dual carriageway in the country. And those of you that spent any time on the A1 will know that if any lorry wants to overtake any other lorry, you'll know why I hate the A1M so much. But I've got less than 90 minutes to go. I've been on this trip now for exactly 3.5 hours. I've just clicked over, and in that time I've done 188 miles. Now, I had various people say to me when I said that I was going to be doing this trip in this car in what looks to be about 30-degree heat today in these seats, that I was going to have had a sense of humour failure by now, but honestly, really not bad at all. I haven't done too many long trips in this car in a little while, so I forgot that actually it's a lot easier and a lot better at doing long distance motorway high speed than I give it credit for. Really stable, sits at 70 odd miles an hour, really, really easy. Obviously it's using next to no fuel. It's actually not that loud. Admittedly, I've got the windows open because it's a hot day, I've got the wind going through, but the exhaust isn't too drony, even if I put the windows up. I mean, I've got them mostly closed so I can do this piece to camera, but actually, when I'm not on throttle, when I'm just cruising, that's not bad. I think that's totally reasonable. As for comfort, the seats, again, exceeded expectations, I would say. They're comfortable, they're holding me in very supportively. I've got a little bit of wiggle room, which is just enough that I can kind of stretch out, I can sit up or slouch or do whatever I want to do. I think on the driver's seat in particular, the cushion for where your bum goes has worn a little bit thin, because I'll be honest, my bum is a little bit numb. When I got out to have a wee earlier, I did have to do a little stretch and a little tense just to keep the old glutes moving. I don't think that's a problem. First of all, these seats aren't brand new, and I don't know the history of how old they are exactly and how generously proportioned, shall we say, the previous owner who had been using them was, so that could be part of it. But also, it's removable. The pads in these seats come out with Velcro, so what I think I'm going to do when I get home is measure it and have a piece of foam made up to size to go in here that is thick and quite firmly padded, so I've got a bit more reassurance in the bum region. But other than that, got good back support, shoulders don't ache, back doesn't ache. My legs feel really good, actually, considering obviously I've been driving in one position for hours and hours. I feel really good. 3.5 hours in a little 23-year-old nugget with a pretty much straight through exhaust and bucket seats. You think I'd be hating life, but actually, I'm loving it. Lovely weather, touch wood, we're making good progress. I've got all my music on, my favourite podcasts. I've been doing Cream, Auto Alex, Smoking Tyre, all the bits. But comment down below what your favourite automotive podcast is. I was doing the Classics World one, obviously. I do a podcast, if you didn't know, every week, the Classics World podcast, every Friday. Go and check it out, because we do it every week and we're quite proud of it. So yeah, go and listen to that. Anyway, while you're doing that, after you've finished watching this video, I'm going to get my foot down and keep pushing on to Leeds, lad. It north. And we're here, 280 miles oop noof to Leeds, and this little nugget has absolutely bossed it. Hasn't put a foot wrong in 30-degree heat and traffic and Dartford crossing and the A1 being a nightmare as always. This car has been faultless. And just when I filled up with fuel on that journey, 51.8 miles to the gallon. Stick your hybrids, stick your electrics, stick your diesels. You need a little old nugget. That is what you need. I'm so proud of this car. And you know what? All that driving, 5-6 hours, however long it's been, 280 odd miles, I'm still in fine form. I feel fresh, I feel fruity. I've got a slightly numb bum from the bucket seat, as I said, but I think we can work on that. But other than that, so proud of this car. Gorgeous weather up north. Who said it's grim up north, eh? Yeah, I'm in a fine, fine mood. So now off to the hotel, then get some dinner, and then tomorrow we'll do some filming. Well, good morning, everyone. It's another beautiful day up in Leeds. I certainly slept well after a long drive yesterday. So did little fella. And just before we go over to the motorist, I'm going to check my levels just to make sure, fingers crossed, that everything's okay. Oh, that will never get old, by the way. Coolant all good. Oil. Yeah, good as gold. Lovely. Long old drive, bit of hooning, and nothing used. What a car. Absolutely love it. Right, bonnet down to the motorist. Well, we've made it to the motorist on a gorgeous day. There's lorries and all sorts of stuff over there. And over here it's all going on. We've got a little nugget here. Our photographer Aids Mark II Granada. How cool is this thing? There's a cool high-ace camper van over there. And I'm filming what is technically an enemy of this, I suppose. Toyota Starlet P90. Stay tuned for the road test video. I'm very keen for this one. Well, we're all done. 5 long hours of hot, sweaty filming of various lovely Toyotas. It must be said, thanks to the Toyota Enthusiast Club for that one. And now I'm back to an air-conditioned hotel room. Having spent the day with various other sporty race car type things, I'm now going back in my sporty race car type thing. Early the next morning, I packed my stuff and headed back south. And true to form, the little nugget ate it up just as easily as it had the outbound journey. We're pretty much home. I'm about 10 minutes away from home as I film this, which for once I thought I'd end the video not stood on my driveway, just for a little bit of variety for you. Instead, we'll end this video as we started it, driving. And this little nugget has been a trooper on this trip. By the time I get home, we'll have done 590 odd, let's call it 600 miles to Leeds and back in the middle of heatwave number 4, 5, 15,000, however many there's been this year in England. It's 35 odd degrees today and I've got both windows open, I've had the sunroof open, obviously no air conditioning, and the car has not missed a beat. It hasn't overheated, hasn't got hot, the traffic's been surprisingly light, but flying along 70 miles an hour on the motorway, easy peasy. And in fact, this whole journey, I haven't done a really long journey in this car for quite some time because I've been busy and I've had various other cars, and I'm very fortunate to have other cars that are perhaps more suited to long distance drives. But if anything, this journey's just served to remind me how good this car is at doing it. You wouldn't think a 23-year-old little nugget with bucket seats and a noisy exhaust would be the perfect GT car, but it's been amazing. And then to top it all off, I've just come from the petrol station where I've put in my second tank of fuel for this trip, and I thought 51.8 on the outbound journey was good. On the return journey, this car has averaged 53.9 miles to the gallon. That's unbelievable. That's a good 6 or 7 mpg more than I get from driving it normally. But also a fair chunk over what the factory claimed MPG is for a standard car. I doff my cap to this car. It's been absolutely wonderful. I'm so bloody proud of it. And I can't wait for it to do the same again, hopefully, on the big road trip for this year when the Seicento and I take on the North Coast 500. That's right, the epic 500-mile loop around the top of Scotland. We're going to drive all the way up there, all the way around, and all the way back again. It's been my dream road trip. I'm so excited. It's going to be absolutely epic. And the best part is, unlike a lot of road trips, you don't have to hope for good weather because Scotland, even in the peeing rain, is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be epic. And my little rally car here is going to be an absolute hero. My only real takeaway from this trip is hope it's not 35 degrees, which in October in Scotland, I think we should be all right, and put a thicker, more plush cushion on this seat. But I've got 2 months to do that, so I'm going to jump online and order some bits. But in the meantime, a few more videos to come between now and then. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe so you get every single Miller Corner video as it's released. I'm going to go home and shower, but thanks for watching. Have a brilliant rest of your day and have a good one.